Hi, I'm Lynette and welcome. Today is the day. Today is the day where I rank all of my Pat McGrath eyeshadow palettes. All of them, the full-size mothership, the 6-pan minis, the quads, all of them, all 20 of them. Yeah, I've been working towards this day and it's finally arrived. So let's just get into it. So let me start off by saying that if I were to do this video tomorrow, this list would be different. Okay, so this is the lineup I'm going with today. I got my notebook here with my rankings. It's got some cross outs in it, some white out because I had to make some changes and move some people around, but this is the lineup I'm going with today. Now, if you've been here before, if you've been following me a bit, if you even saw a couple of my last video uploads, I did if I had to declutter my Pat McGrath collection, what would I get rid of? And if I could only keep 10 eyeshadow palettes, what would I keep? So if you saw any of those videos, you probably got a hint about which one is my number 1 and which one is at the bottom of the list at number 20. But feel free to take a guess at which one do you think, where these palettes fell. What do you think my top 5 are? And let's get started with number 20, which will be no surprise to anyone who, has been here. It is the Ritualistic Rose Quad. This was a holiday release, and this is the old packaging with the envelope type string opening, and really pretty. I don't remember what year this was. Was this 2018? Was it 2019? I don't know. I can't keep up, but this is what it looks like. This is old packaging too, because even though the quads still look like this, they don't have this like beautiful gold plating on the back, which just kicks it up a notch. You know what I'm saying? And then you have the mirror, and then here are the 4 shades. They are all, this is a Blitz Astro Quad, and so they are all that special formula, the special shades. And please don't get me wrong, this is a beautiful quad. Beautiful. I think just that it's an all like shimmer metallic palette. There are no mattes. Definitely brought it down. And then yeah, this is just one of my least favorites. It's beautiful, but I think at this point I had gotten a little tired of the pink theme because Pat loved her some pink, and I think I had already kind of tired out of that. And then I've definitely been tired of the golds in every palette. So yeah, we already know. You already knew, right? You knew. Okay. No surprises there. Probably there will be no surprise at number 19 either, because I've talked about this palette before. This is the first full-size mothership palette to make it onto the list, and it is the Mothership 6 Midnight Sun. This is one of my most recent additions to my collection. It was on sale. That is really the only reason I bought it, and I was just looking to buy some makeup and she was having a sale, and I was kind of feeling the void of my collection, so I went on ahead and got it. And I know that this is a lot of people's favorite mothership palette. She's beautiful. They're all beautiful, okay? They're all beautiful. They all work beautifully. I get beautiful looks from every one of them, and I've used every one of them, and I may have even done a tutorial with every one of them. If you want to check them out, I will link it above my playlist, Pat McGrath playlist. I believe I've done tutorials with all of them. And yeah, this, it was a pretty look, but I just, it's nice. It's really nice. This one I actually think I just did an Instagram look with. I don't think I did a tutorial. Maybe because I just wasn't feeling it. She pretty though. She gorgeous. She pretty too. But yeah, she's number 19. Coming in at number 18 is another quad, another holiday quad, and this is, I want to show you the packaging. That's what she looks like. This is the Celestial Divinity Luxe Quad, and this is Fleur Fantasia, and this is part of the new packaging, so you know, same, but you don't have the gold plate on the back. You have a sticker now. And this is what she looks like, and she is really, really beautiful. I think of this collection initially, I thought, because there were 3 quads that came in this collection. Was it 3? I believe it was 3. Maybe it was 4. I think it was 3. Anyway, I thought this one was the most special of them. This is a gorgeous duochrome right here, and you do get one matte shade. But you know, I would still need to go, this is an accent palette for me, I would still need to go in with another palette for a deeper outer V shade, because you know, I like to deepen up my outer corners. So this one I would have to use as an accent, but she's gorgeous. You know, it got hard after I got through with the 2 bottoms. From here on out it just gets difficult, but you know, these palettes had to go somewhere in some order. And this is where this one landed. Coming in at number 17, we have another full Mothership palette, and this one is Mothership 3 Subversive. Oh, there's the packaging, just gorgeous, stunning. And then this here is the palette, and this one is a little bit more of a smoky entry, because you've got the black. In her first 3, you've got the black. In her first 3 Mothership palettes, she put a black in every palette. Thankfully, she moved on from that, which I appreciate. So you've got, you know, the 4 special shades here, right here, with every full-size Mothership palette. And then you have these really dark, more like smoky shadows, more on the cool tone side of things. And yeah, this one I find that I don't reach for as much, although this shade right here, Gigabyte, you know, these palettes, every one of these palettes has a shade or several shades in them that could have easily catapulted them to the top of the rankings. But once again, they couldn't all be at number 1. So yeah, Subversive Mothership 3 clocks in at number 17. Coming in at number 16, we have Mothership 1. Is it upside down? Mothership 1 Subliminal. And this is the palette that I thought would be my first full-size Mothership palette, but it turned out to be my 3rd. And what attracted me to this palette, of course, were the cool tones and that gorgeous blue. And yeah, this palette, pretty, very pretty, but she's clocking in at 16. And then at number 15, we have another 6-pan mini holiday release, and this one is Metamorphosis, the Mothership Subversive palette. And these palettes were envisioned to be companion palettes to the full-size Mothership palettes. And this one is the old packaging with the like little rubber band here opening, and then it unfolds like an envelope, and then it comes with the mirror. And then this is what she looks like, gorgeous. And this one I think falls closer to the bottom of the list, because again, it's an all shimmer palette, and I had to really get real with myself about which palettes I would reach for more. And all shimmer palettes I'm less inclined to reach for than those that have a matte or 2 that I can use to do a full look. So, but she's gorgeous. She's gorgeous. At number 14, we have another quad, and this one is Nocturnal Nirvana. It's another Blitz Astral quad, and it looks like that. And the packaging, of course, coincides with what is inside, which is some gorgeous jewel toned special shades. So you've got this beautiful purple, beautiful green, this beautiful blue green, And then, you know, this more on the gold side shadow, because Pat loves her some gold. And the only reason why this one, because this is gorgeous and this is really right down my street, right up my alley. And the only reason that it, I think, falls a little further to the bottom is because these two eyeshadows, I did do a tutorial with them, and I put both of these on the lid, and once they were blended next to each other, side by side to each other and blended together, they kind of looked very similar. Even though they look very different here in the pan, they did look a little more similar on the eye. So I think that is the only reason why this one is lower. But yeah, this is her first and only jewel toned quad, and I am definitely looking for more of these type of colors in her future palettes. And then next up is an oldie but a goodie. This is Mothership for Decadence, and this was limited edition, but so many people were not able to get it when it first launched, and so Pat has gone on and re-released it. I want to say like 3 more times since the initial launch. She launched it again as part of the Star Wars collection with Star Wars special packaging, which I was tempted to get, but come on now. But this is another one and only jewel tones full size Mothership palette from Pat, and it is an all shimmer palette, no matte. And again, why it is lower on the list is because it's all shimmer, but she's gorgeous. I recently did a look with her again, and I was just reminded again just how special and beautiful this palette is. Yes, it's all shimmer. I'm sure when I did my first tutorial, I did an all shimmer look with it, because that's what I do when I use new palettes for the first time. So, but the second look, I did go on ahead and bring in some mattes from another Pat McGrath palette. But yeah, she's just really, really beautiful, and I'm looking forward to Pat putting some more colors like this in future palettes, but with some mattes in them. But yeah, Decadence Mothership 4, which I believe is still available now. If you don't have it, go get it. Okay, so now is when it really started to get tough. We're at number 12, and from here on out it was really, really hard, but I had to do it, and I did. And today, number 12 is another one of the holiday quads, and this one is from the Celestial Divinity collection, and it is, I'm trying to open it. It is Risque Rose, and oh my goodness, this is the collection that had new eyeshadow formulas in it, and this one right here, oh my god, so metallic, ooh, so creamy, and the mattes too in this quad, so creamy. And then you have this lavendering shade in here, which is just like this purple lavender gray, just absolutely stunning. Look at that, look at that, just stunning. This quad is gorgeous, and it does have 2 mattes in it. You have a nice bright pop of fuchsia right there, and then you do have a nice dark brown that I can use as a deepening shade in my outer corner. So this is a quad that I have and can use as an all-around standalone palette, and she is gorgeous. This was a tough one. This was a tough one. At number 12, this collection also had the new quad packaging, so you no longer have like the tie band string around it. Now you just have this opening, and it just doesn't feel as luxe as the original holiday quads. This was, I believe this was last year's 2020 release, so yes. So that's number 12. Coming in at number 11 is also a limited edition. Was this holiday? I don't know if it was holiday, but it was a limited edition release in collaboration with Star Wars, one of my all-time favorite movie series. This one is the Galactic Gold palette with C3PO on it. And I'm not gonna lie, one of the reasons why this one came in higher, more in the middle of the pack, not only is it gorgeous, but is because of the packaging. And I am just a big Star Wars fan. I've seen every single movie. I'm now watching the Clone Wars animated series. Like, I'm all in, okay? I'm all in. And this is what she looks like. This one does, I believe, yeah, Corruption, which has Corruption, which was a repeat shade, but one of my all-time favorites. And just gorgeous. Again, an all shimmer metallic palette, but just so pretty. I believe this one is a repeat too. So this one has some repeat shades in it, but it was Star Wars and the packaging, and there was no way I was not going to try and pick this baby up. So yeah, there's no shame. I have no shame. I have no shame. Coming in at number 10 is another full shot size Mothership, and this is Mothership number 2, Sublime. Ooh, look at the packaging, girl. And this is what, this one was a real tough one, because this one definitely could have been ranked higher. She's so beautiful. She has like these more warmer, neutral tones in it. The 4 special shades, of course, with that gorgeous green. But then you have these really nice matte shadows in there as well. You do have the black. And this is just stunning, stunning. This shade right here is worth, to me, the whole price of this palette. So just really, really, really gorgeous. So this one was a tough one. They were all tough. And then coming in at number 9 is another one of the Star Wars palette. This one is the, which one is this? This is the Dark Galaxy, yes. This is the Dark Galaxy palette. The packaging, I'm telling you, the packaging. But then the color story also. I mean, here, you know, we have some more some more purples and pinky tones in here, but just I really like the color story in this one. This one you do also have a matte. You have one, at least you get one, that I could definitely use in the outer corner in the crease. So yeah, this one is just stunning. You've got this dual chrome, some dual chromes in here, just absolutely gorgeous. And then you combine this with the Star Wars packaging, and for me this is just a home run. Coming in at number 8 is a 6-pan mini. This is the Bronze Temptation 6-pan mini palette, one of the holiday releases with the old packaging. And this is the color story. This, I believe, is where we first saw that shade, that dual chrome Corruption, which is one of my favorite shadows of all the Pat McGrath palettes that I own. You have this beautiful dark brown, this gorgeous green, and then you have like this, it's not your standard gold. This is kind of like a honey platinum type gold. I can't really describe it. Maybe an antique gold, maybe that's the word for it. But just absolutely beautiful. And then you have the shade here that you can put in the crease. Another one of those one and done palettes where I can do a complete look with it. And one of the reasons it scored much higher. Coming in at number 7 is a palette that really surprised me. I really did not expect to like this palette as much as I do, because again, this is where I had kind of, you know, Pat has been doing the pink themed palettes and I was kind of like over it. But there was no way I was not going to buy this palette, and now I'm really glad that I did, because I really love it. This is the Rose Decadence 6-pan mini palette. It's also a departure, just like the Star Wars mini palettes was a departure in the packaging. This one, she continued in that pattern with just the metallic opening, which I really don't mind. You've got the big gold hieroglyphic stickers here, and the packaging is beautiful, and I do like the metallic opening. It's just a lot easier to open, a lot easier to use. And then this is the color story. Just really cohesive. Like really, I don't have to think too much when I use this palette. I just know that I can go in with this in my crease, this beautiful peach shade in my crease, this on the outer corner, and then you've got these beautiful metallic shades. This is also a palette that I used as a face palette as well. This peachy shade here and this beautiful berry tones here I've used on my cheeks as blush, and then I've used this one right here, this gorgeous metallic, I've used as a highlighter. So for me, this is definitely an all-around one and done palette, not just for the eyes but for the face too. And yeah, so very surprised at just how much I really enjoy this palette. It's gotten quite a bit of use in my collection, and really happy I went on ahead and purchased it. Coming in at number 6 is an oldie but a goodie. This is the La Vie en Rose mini palette. Subversive. This is the companion to the Subversive palette, and that is why the packaging is the same. And yeah, this was, when I bought this palette, this was my most used Pat McGrath palette in my collection, and this is what she looks like. Stunning. I believe this purple one, is it? I think it might be repeated in one of the Star Wars mini palettes, the Galactic Gold. I'm not sure, but yeah. For me, this one here, this pink shade right here, this one for me was a dud. Like, it's just so vibrant in the pan, in the pan and in the palette, but then when I would blend it out, it was just so soft. So soft, so subtle, and I just, for the longest time, I hated that. That was the only problem with this palette, was that shade right there. But I think now I know more about the Pat McGrath aesthetic, and that, yeah, she's not going to really be doing, for a matte, she's not going to be really doing a bang in your face color. And I think I can appreciate this a little more now that I'm a little older and I'm a little more experienced with her aesthetic. But yeah, you know me, if you follow me at all, you know I like the bright punches of color. So for me, I would still have preferred that this was as bright on the eye as it is in the pan, but still that didn't stop me from loving this palette. This dual chrome here, I mean, it's just this purple rain. This is just really gorgeous. And still, to be an oldie, she an old one now, she's an old girl now, but she's still a favorite. So she definitely came in pretty high on the list. Coming in at number 5 is Mothership 5 Bronze Seduction. This palette was at one point my favorite Mothership palette, my favorite Pat McGrath palette in my collection. It has been since displaced. But yeah, she's just gorgeous. And I think for a lot of people, this was probably their first foray into Pat McGrath, and certainly into the full-size Mothership palette, because this one is a little more neutral, I think, than all of the others. And I think the color story is a little more cohesive as well. So for those people that maybe are not really into color or afraid of color, I feel like for a lot of people this was a palette that they could see themselves using on an everyday basis for work appropriate looks, and just really more versatile. You have this one is the first full-size Mothership aside from Decadence, which is the only full-size all shimmer palette. This was the first full-size Mothership palette that does not contain a black. Instead, Pat replaced it with this beautiful eggplant shade here, which I really appreciated. After getting the first 3 palettes that all had a black in them, I didn't feel like I needed another black. So this is when she started to replace that black, which I really like. And yeah, this beautiful red special shade here, which is so smooth, so beautiful, and so soft. And then you have these neutral browns and like this really lighter peachy brown that you can use as a crease shade, that you can use on the outer V. So yeah, I think for a lot of folks, this palette was definitely the first time they may have even tried Pat. And then for me, this shade right here, this dual chrome special shade, is just worth the whole price of this entire palette. So still a favorite, not the #1 anymore, but definitely still a favorite, and definitely made it into the top 5. Coming in at #4 is another oldie but goodie, and another 6-pan mini, and this is the Dark Star mini palette, Mothership Subversive. And I thought this palette was probably more appropriate to pair with Subliminal, yeah, Mothership 1, because that's the cool tone Mothership palette. But this one also, Subversive, also had some cooler tones in it as well, and some cool jewel tones. So yeah, I guess now that I think about it, this one was a good companion for that one. And this one I love because it has this gray. I think this is the first time we saw, I think this is the only time we've seen a gray in a Pat McGrath palette. You have this gorgeous blue purple. Oh, you have this lovely like dark maroon shadow and a black, which I think is definitely appropriate for this palette and this color story. Gorgeous. I love cool tone palettes, and I could have done without this, you know, gold shade here, but it doesn't stop me from loving it. I love this palette, and that's why it scored so high in the rankings at #4. All right, we are in the top 3. We're coming across the finish line, the top 3, and this palette definitely, it could have been a #1. It could have been a #2. Like, it's my most recent addition to my Pat McGrath collection, and it is Pat McGrath's most recent collection. It's from the Venus and Fleurs collection that she launched with her blushes. This is the quad. This is Voyeuristic Vixen. Look at the packaging. It has changed once again. This time it's just, you open it like that. The packaging is gorgeous, and so is the quad. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest. When this came out, I didn't buy it. I bought some blushes, I bought a Divino lipstick, I bought other pieces in the collection. I did not buy this because I was like, yeah, you know, it's pretty, you know, it's more on the neutral side and more earthy, warm tone side, and yeah, it's pretty. But I did go ahead, and I had a Sephora gift card, so I went on ahead and picked this up along with a few more items, and I am so glad I did. This palette is so stinking gorgeous. It has one matte, which is this beautiful brown, and then the rest are shimmers. You have this special shade in here that is a dual chrome. Absolutely gorgeous, absolutely stunning. This is a palette that if you don't really want to put a whole lot of thought into the look that you're going to do, you can just pull this out and just boom, 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 and you are done. I love it. I love it. I'm surprised at how much I love it. Not surprised that I love it, really not surprised at all. It's absolutely gorgeous. The packaging is absolutely gorgeous, and yeah, like I said, this could have easily been #1, but tomorrow it might be. Coming in at #2 is yet another quad. I mean, Pat Pat kills it with the quads. I guess for me, she's been killing it with the quads. And this time, it is from the last holiday collection, last year's holiday collection. So it's from the Celestial Divinity collection. And this time, it is Interstellar Icon. And I know what you're thinking. This is an all shimmer palette. And it's ranked at number 2. It's coming at number 2, which surprises me too. But I did use this palette. I don't remember if I did a tutorial with it or not. But I used it again, and I think I did the same look with it the second time around. Just used it recently in a picture that I posted on Instagram, and I'm pretty sure it's the same look that I did the first time because I just loved it that much. I loved it that much. This you've got, of course, you've got this beautiful like blue, lavender, blue, light blue, not lavender, but it's got a little hint of purple in it, which is stunning. But for me, surprisingly, this is the shade that really knocked my socks off. Like, it is this bronze, I can't even explain it. It's got these like maroon reflect in it. It's just so different. It is unlike, in my opinion, it's unlike any other shadow that Pat has in any other of her palettes. And yeah, this one, gorgeous, absolutely stunning, gorgeous. But this one is so unusual and so different that for me, these two together, this maroon metallic here, that's so nice. You can use it as a crease shade, which is how I've used it the 2 times I've used this palette already. Like, let me just swatch the last one too. I don't swatch the whole thing. Just so beautiful, so beautiful. So yes, even though this quad does not have a matte in it, the shades, the shadows that are in it, to me are just so unique and so special that I had to place it at number 2. I know, I'm surprised too. I'm surprised too, but yeah. So that leaves my last and final palette. My only other Mothership palette. I have all but one. I don't have Mothership 7. I have all of them except that one. And so by now you know which one it is that I'm talking about. Clocking in at number 1, which will be of no surprise to anybody who follows me here. It's the Mothership 8 Divine Rose 2. Look at the packaging. This palette is just, did I mention? I mentioned that packaging, but the packaging continues. Look at this beautiful pink chrome packaging. Stunning. And then you have the color story. Now, was I tired of pink when she came out with this palette? I absolutely was. I absolutely was. Was there any doubt that I was going to go buy this palette? There absolutely wasn't. Absolutely was no doubt. Even as I'm saying to myself, oh, I'm so tired of pink. I'm tired of Pat in the pink. I wish Pat would get up off the pink. I knew I was buying this palette. I knew it. And of course you have this Extraterrestrial, one of the special shades, which you can see pink here, and it's green in the mirror. It's that pink green flip, but it also has a champagne flip, so it's actually a triochrome eyeshadow, not a duochrome. It's a triochrome, triochrome, whichever way you say that. And you have your 4 special shades here. It is so smooth. That's Extraterrestrial, so smooth. I think it's the first time we've seen a multi-chrome in a luxury brand palette before. Yeah, the first time. And then Also, another palette wherein I use as a face palette also. So I've used this as a blush and this as a blush, and this is a beautiful crease shade. And yeah, for me, this is a palette that I can use every day, that I can use for work, that I can use for evening, that I can use for special occasions. For me, it just does everything. I could have done without the gold personally. Like, I'm not partial to gold, but the rest of these shadows are absolutely stunning. I love the color story. I think this is one of her more cohesive color stories, along with a couple of the other palettes that we've seen today, and she just knocked it out of the box with this palette. I really do believe she knocked it out of the box, and that's why Mothership 8 Divine Rose 2 lands in the #1 spot in my Pat McGrath rankings. So there it is. There we are. The rankings of all my Pat McGrath eyeshadow palettes. Let me know in the comments below, where do some of these palettes land in your rankings? If you like this video, then please give it a like and consider subscribing, because I do makeup hauls, swatches, tutorials, and makeup and beauty product reviews every Saturday. I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope to see you again next week. Until then, bye-bye.